Hello folks, I'm Alex. This is Alex Unabridged, and today I'm judging books by their covers. So welcome back to the channel. Yes, Tag Tuesday today, and I got tags, yay! I got tagged in this tag by Priscilla over at Evening Reader, and the tag is the judging books by their covers tag, which I think was possibly originally called the Aesthetically Pleasing Book Tag. I think it's so old that the original tag video doesn't exist anymore. I couldn't find anything at the original tag. But yes, this is all about book covers, book end papers, all the pretty things, pretty books, book porn. So yes, it's the prompts are just best colours, best end papers, best spine, all that kind of thing. So we'll just have a little look through some of my pretty books today. So let's crack straight on with the prompts. The first one is best colours. I could have picked so many for this, but I've tried to limit myself for most of these prompts to one or two. And on this one, I'll go for one. And this is Underland by Robert Macfarlane, a deep time journey. I love Robert Macfarlane, as anybody who has probably watched the channel for a bit will know. But the cover on this, I just love the covers on this. They're kind of warm and enticing, and want to suck you in, and they go round to the back as well. It's a beautiful design on the cover of this, and I have to say the end papers are quite nice as well. But this is a cracking book. I love Robert Macfarlane's writing on deep time, the idea of deep time. And this one is pretty much all that. Lots of geology, lots of underground stuff, lots of hidden things. And yeah, so I can recommend the book, but the colour combinations on this and the way it's all overlaid and kind of blends in to one another, I really appreciate that cover. It's a really nice cover. I don't know whether it's painted, digital, printed, I'm not entirely sure, but it's pretty. So that's the first one. Prompt number 2 is best typography. I love typography. In terms of a fiction book cover, I've gone for this one, which I haven't read yet, which is The Way of All Flesh by Ambrose Parry, which is Chris Brookmeyer and his wife writing together. And I love the cover generally of this. I think it's a really nice, it's a really beautiful design, the borders and stuff. But it's nice, clean typography, but at the same time, it kind of evokes the time period in which it's set, and kind of there's a kind of a richness to it and a sort of affluence to it. It's just, yeah, I really like that. But in terms of my real love of typography, I have a design book of type. And that is this one. In fact, I have two of these. I have volume 1 and volume 2, but I picked volume 1 because I think I prefer the cover of this. And this is Type, A Visual History of Typefaces and Graphic Styles. Volume 1 is 1628 to 1900. And volume 2 is 1900, coming through to more modern type. And this is gorgeous. This is just full of, as it says, typefaces and graphic styles. So it's a big book, and it's got all of its flourishes and it's typesetting sheets from printers and things like that. All the kind of different things that they had to typeset. So I'll see if you can see that. I might take pictures of these and put them up so you can actually see properly. But yes, a big book of prettiness. And so yeah, when it comes to typefaces, you can't really go wrong with something like this. prompt number 3 is best simple cover. And I've gone for another art and design book. You'll notice a theme through this. There's quite a lot of art and design books. I am an artist and designer. And when you're talking about pretty books, I tend to find that that's where certainly for me, that's where I've got the prettiest covers. But this one is Make It Now. Creative Inspiration and the Art of Getting Things Done, by Anthony Burrell. And I love the boldness of this. I love the orange and the yellow spine. I love the boldness, the sans serif printed text. I use a lot of this sort of text, this sort of typeface in my own work. I like big, blocky, printed type. And this is full of that sort of stuff. And it's visual inspiration along with bits of writing about, how to get shit done, basically, creatively. And it's just a beautiful little book. There's various different pieces in here, colours change, but it's all very much this kind of, big, blocky type statement stuff. But yeah, lovely book, but I do particularly like the cover of this and the simplicity of it and how it immediately just, it shouts at you and says, read me, read me now. So yes, that is my best simple book cover. Prompt number 4 is best end pages. Ooh, I could have gone for a few on this, but the one I've picked, which I just think these are beautiful, is from The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, which is a gorgeous book, both in terms of its writing, themes, content and illustration. And I just love the end papers in this. I think they're absolutely glorious. Love the drawings and the use of the music sheet, and yeah, that in both the front and the back, that there's that gorgeous ink drawing as well on this page here. Yeah, I think these are fantastic. So yes, that is best end pages. If you haven't read this, pick it up. Next up, we've got best map. I've got a couple for this. I've got a small one, which is this one, which is You Are Here, Personal Geographies and Other Maps of the Imagination. So this is a book about maps. I like maps. And this has got various kinds of maps in it. Kind of lots of different stuff from different historical periods, different sorts of maps, as it says. It's kind of bits of sort of maps of the imagination as much as it is like physical geographical maps, that kind of stuff, things like that. So yeah, that one is by Catherine Harmon. My sister bought that for me for Christmas one year, and I still enjoy just poring over that one. But the one I think is my favourite, absolute favourite, is this beast of a book. I don't need weights with this. I don't need to go to the gym with this. Oh, crikey. Information graphics. This is glorious. I mean, my design side of things, my graphic design side of things, kind of started off with quite a lot of infographic inspiration. A lot of my work was infographics based. And so I appreciate that, but I mean, this takes it to another level. And some of the maps in here are less kind of maps of geographical maps. There is plenty of geography in here and like location-based maps, but there's just some like gorgeous artwork really in it. There's like this one here. Hopefully you can see that, of literary Madrid. Kind of an abstract map of Madrid, but with kind of literary history, Spanish and international writers. And then, let's have a look what else. This one, which kind of looks at the connections between earthquakes and wars in America. So stuff like that, like beautifully like creative maps and colours and stuff like that. And then one that's particularly good for like a booktube theme and books is this one. Ooh, getting tired doing this. Is this one on this side here, which is a map of it's sentence drawings. So it's a map of the entirety of On the Road by Jack Kerouac, and it's basically taken so that once you get, you know, the artist or the designer who's done this has drawn a line which is equal to a certain number of words, so the word count, and then when he gets to the end of the sentence, he turns a right corner, draws another line with the words in that sentence, turns another right corner, and you get this kind of strange kind of mapping. And it's, yeah, just things like that. It's just the sort of abstract nature, the creativity of that kind of mapping of something, mapping of information. I love geographical maps, location-based maps, but I really, really love mapping of information and connections. So yeah, this book, this beast of a book, it's absolute chonker, is one of my absolute favourites. So yes, that one is probably the best maps. Prompt number 6 is Best Naked Hardcover, and this one is a recent one for me, and that is Camille Walala's Taking Joy Seriously. I just love this cover, and there was 8 or 9 different cover designs you could pick from. This is from a small press called Counterprint Books in the UK. And yeah, there were several different designs, and I picked this one because I love this one the most. But yeah, it goes, you know, it kind of goes all the way around as well, and it's got a slightly embossed and more kind of, this is matte, and then this is kind of more gloss on the name there, and it's slightly embossed, and it's just beautiful, and I like the spine. Oh, nice book. Prompt number 7 is Best Back Cover. This one was tricky, actually. You don't pay much attention to back covers, and seemingly a lot of publishers don't either. It's just kind of, it's a space to stick the blurb, isn't it? So, but I do appreciate a nice back cover when I see it, and certainly one that's a continuation, like with the Camille Walala and the Robert McFarlane. You know, they wrap around. There's still the artwork on the back, and there's not been too much text plunked on there and things like that. There's still a real kind of sort of artistic, aesthetic, you know, element to the design at the back. But another one that I found which does that is, surprise, another art book, is Block Art. A to Z in wood block prints by Will Mower, and the back of this is this. So it's a continuation of, but it's got the A and the B and the C, and I love the colours. I love the fact you can see, I don't know whether you can see it, but I can. You can see sort of elements where the print's lifted from the pink. You can see kind of the little imperfections in the prints. I love that, and I do liner cut and woodblock stuff myself. I mean, this book is beautiful as well. Inside, you know, all the different symbols and the letters and stuff that he's created. And basically, yeah, what he did was he created a set. Basically, you can buy his sets called Block Art, and they are sets of geometric shapes that all interlink together to create. You know, whatever he wants, basically, and he makes, you know, entire pictures just with his stamps. And as I say, you can buy sets yourself if you want, you know, if you want to try it yourself. But yeah, I love that kind of simplicity and that kind of use of geometry and geometric shapes. But yeah, I love the colours on this. As I say, I love the fact you can see all the texture and the imperfections on it. It's beautiful. Prompt number 8 is Best Chapter Headings, and And for this one, I'm going to go with a gorgeous book that I won in a giveaway from Mr. Troy Tradup, who has for now ceased to do BookTube, although he's still loitering in the comments. I think various people's videos. He's still active in the BookTube community. But when he hit his 300 subscriber count, he did a little giveaway, or quite a big giveaway, and I won this one, which is Little Big, by John Crowley. And this is a gorgeous book anyway. I mean, the front cover, the spine, this, you know, this kind of beautiful traditional spine, this gold sprayed edges, it's lovely. But the chapter headings in it are particularly gorgeous. There's a lot of flourishes. I mean, I love stuff that plays with graphics within the text, you know, so I mean, you've got these extra bits as well in here. But I love that kind of flourish. I mean, I love illumination, you know, sort of a medieval illumination as well. And so, yeah, that's gorgeous. And the fact that, like, the end of each chapter has also got kind of a little kind of sort of stop graphic, if you like, you know, sort of an end graphic to it as well. So yeah, this is an absolutely gorgeous book. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I'm kind of waiting until I've got time to sort of probably sit and pore over it and, you know, take my time with it, because it's one that I want to handle carefully, not just kind of rip through. So yes, that's best chapter headers. Okay, prompt number 9 is best spine. And for this one, I'm going to go for a little bit of a random one, and that is with, again, another one I bought in my birthday book haul, which is paper, material, medium and magic. And the reason why I love the spine on this is because there kind of is no spine. It's perfect bound, obviously, but you can just see all the different kind of colours of the papers that have gone into it. You know, it's about paper, so it's showing off the paper, and I like that. I like the design choice on that a lot. So yeah, it's really nice. It's really well put together, and like inside, you know, you can see the stitching and stuff like that. It's a really nice book, this, and has like lots of different sorts of paper in it. You know, they've used different paper to print on throughout the book, and it's just a joyous celebration of all things paper, really. But yes, that is the one that I've chosen for best spine. Next up, prompt number 10 is best drawings. For this one, I'm going to go for a classic and one that, well, an author that I have loved since I was a youngster, because my dad introduced me to the joys of Alfred Wainwright. Wainwright is a legend in British hiking culture, British sort of landscape culture, because he wrote these guidebooks to the Lake District, and to some other walks as well, Howgill Fells. He's done some Lancashire stuff. And this one that I've got here is the Coast to Coast walk, which goes from St Bees on the west coast over to Robin Hood's Bay on the east coast. And they're always just call them Wainwright's Pictorial Guides. And they are guides, you know, you can walk the routes based on his guidebooks. But it's his illustrations that I absolutely love. They're just absolutely gorgeous. They're practical as well as beautiful. They're little scratchy pen drawings, but you know, when you, I mean, this is one, you know, say the view from Helvellyn. So when you get up to the top of the mountain, you can get this out and you can look at what you can see in the distance, all the different hills, and they're unbelievably accessible to use. They're very accurate. And you know that they're just hand drawings, but he's brilliant at them, and his writing in him as well. His prose is fantastic. He's got a really good sense of humour. His writing's really warm, He gives his own experiences, his own opinions on things. You know, he'll draw little pictures of not just the land, the mountains and stuff, but that's Richmond, which you go through, and the coast to coast. And yeah, they're just, you know, fantastic. There's little sort of diagrams of the walks, the walk sections, all that kind of stuff in them. So that, as I say, they're practical, but also beautiful. You know, viewpoints, you know, topology, you know, and I love the shading work in this. You can tell I like this, yeah. I'm going on a bit with this one, but yeah, these are absolutely gorgeous. And I haven't got a full collection of these. My dad's got quite a few. But over the coming years, I will probably try and build my collection a little bit of Wainwright, because as I say, they are still usable today, even though they were originally written. Let me see. Well, it gives me an original date, 1973. Yeah, so quite a while ago now, but they are totally still usable. So yes, that's his best drawings, is basically anything by Alfred Wainwright, but in this case, the Coast to Coast Walk. And then prompt number 11 is best cover. Favourite cover, I'm going to take that to mean. And I'm actually going to go back to one that I've already showed you for this, and that is that one. And that is not just because it's the best cover for me, that I adore the design, the colours, the feel of it, the wraparound, etc. But also I love the end papers in this are gorgeous as well, you know, and then they continue on, you know, you get a few pages basically of just wonderfully joyous, geometric, bold designs. You know, you get that through there. You've got, you know, again, the paper and the print quality is great. It's very tactile, and you've got little kind of excerpts in here as well. You've got like a little notebook sort of in here that it's got about, you know, her process, while I was processing it, that I adore. And then again in the back you just get more great end papers. You know, you get more designs, and it's just one of those books where it's just a joy to sit and look at and to hold, and just to you know, from a visual perspective, as well as the content that's in here, which is absolutely brilliant. But yeah, as a book, yeah, pretty. So that is my favourite, I think, my favourite design, my favourite cover, book design overall. And then there is kind of an slightly sort of unofficial prompt 12, which is the worst cover, which I think was added by Jess over at Stalking Kafka, but made official by Priscilla in her video, if you like. And yeah, worst cover. It's difficult. It's worst cover for me, I guess. Yeah, I don't have many bad covers. Some covers which are just like, oh, well, you know, it does the job. But not what I'd call bad covers. But I did find a couple which I don't like, shall we say. First one is this one, A Beginner's Guide to Reality, by Jim Baggott. I've had this for years. The content of this is actually a really good primer for reality theory, and kind of gave me a lot of places to kind of go onto in terms of like works by philosophers and theorists, kind of other works, to explore those theories, those philosophies. But the cover for this, I don't know, it's like, it's a Penguin book, so I'd expect better maybe, but it just kind of looks kind of cheap. You know, it kind of doesn't really do much. It's just a bit so yeah, so that's one. It's not horrible, but I'm just a bit like, oh. When you're talking about reality theory and stuff, you could do something really interesting with that, but they haven't. So yeah, so that's one. And then two, which I I think are kind of a little bit more heinous, perhaps. First one is The Visual Dictionary of Graphic Design. You're a book about design and you've chosen the most like disgusting green you could possibly think of, and quite small, quite faded, weird, sort of text layout on the front cover. And I'm a bit like, really? When you're talking about design, I kind of want a really nice designed cover. Otherwise, I immediately don't necessarily have the most faith of, what's inside it. So that's one. It's not a bad book. It's not the best kind of like graphic design dictionary I've ever come across, but it's not bad. But the cover is just like, maybe it's just me and not liking that green. And then this one, which again is like, this is a book about like creative design kind of type stuff, and this is the best you could come up with, and that is The Complete Handbook of Architecture. What is that? It's like you're talking about buildings and building design, and the history of building design, architectural design, and that's your cover. So yeah, that's again, it's a good little book as a primer of like all the different sorts of architecture and stuff that's in it. It's really useful for me when I'm thinking about styles, stuff like that, and inspiration. It's very, very useful. But I was just like, why? And like, I thought, is it better underneath a dust jacket? No. But yeah, so that one's just a bit like, oh, come on, guys, you're meant to be talking about design here. Make it more visually appealing. So yeah, those are my worst covers. So those are the prompts for the judging books by their covers tag / the aesthetically pleasing book tag. So what's left to do but to tag some other people? So I'm going to tag 3 people today. I will tag Ollie at Criminolly, because Ollie seems to have a massive collection of books, but also some of the old like mass market paperbacks and stuff like that he has. There are some amazing covers that he showed us over the years, things like that. So I think he could probably come up with a few interesting answers to these prompts. I'm also going to tag Peter over at Pensively Reading, for when he is back from his travels, his house move, etc. If you fancy giving this one a crack, Peter, then please do. And finally, I'm going to tag Beth at CoverGirl Books, who is a somewhat of a booktube newbie. I've just seen her newbie video this morning, and she is a graphic designer, and is very much up for judging books by their covers. So I think this one is a good one for you, Beth. So if you fancy having a go at this one, jump right in. So those are the 3 people that I will tag for today. But yes, thanks again to Priscilla for tagging me. This is a very enjoyable one to do, although it did take me a while to decide on the books that I was going to put in it. But yes, I think that is it from me today. I will be back later in the week with my wrap-ups for the month of May. So yes, if you enjoyed this video, please do consider giving me a like and subscribing for more content coming soon. Thank you very much for watching. But from me, for now, that's ta-ra.